Richard, say something with.
What's
How
much wood would a wood shop chop for wood shop could chop wood?
I thought it was chuck, not chop.
I thought it was chop. If it's a wood shop, we'd be chopping wood.
No, it's a woodchuck. It's a fucking bird.
Is it?
How much wood would a woodchuck chuck for woodchuck could chuck wood?
I thought how much wood would a wood shop chop if a wood shop could chop wood?
I suppose it works both ways. Sam O'Reilly with the Fight Talk podcast. Joined by two boxers. One, I was going to say, a bit summery vibes today, Rich. You know it might rain later, yeah?
Not my world.
He's dressed like he's going to Miami, isn't he?
Don't rain. The sun shines in my world, son.
Richie Gray with his vest and his short shorts and his fucking flip flops on. Adrian Martin wearing jeans like a normal person. But yeah, good to have you here, boys. How are we?
Good, mate. I feel much better now. I've got my Fight Talk tattoo.
Yeah, representing.
I mean, if you haven't got one, do you even Fight Talk?
Is that for Craic? I mean, I ain't got one myself.
I wasn't a dig at Craic or anything, but
you're the only man in the world with that Fight Talk logo tattooed on you right now.
You know what I mean?
For anyone thinking, why the fuck have you done that? Well, it was a charity day at one of your sponsors, Tattooist, obviously, and you got the Fight Talk logo and I got the Richie Gray official logo. So, you know,
join the crew. If you guys get the tattoo, either my one or his one, we'll donate money to charity for it. Get involved.
Is that what we're doing now?
That's what we're doing now. That's what I did in my one anyway. I donated an extra tenner for your one.
Oh, right. What a gentleman you are.
I know.
Adrian Martin, how are you, sir?
Yeah, not bad, thanks. Not bad.
Been a little while since you've been here. Last time you was here was for the we did the prediction day, didn't we?
For the Mayweather McGregor.
And O'Hara Davis against
and Josh Taylor.
Yeah, we did all that. But
I was right on both counts.
Were you?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
You didn't think a non-boxer was going to beat the greatest boxer of our generation?
Jack Hughes did. Jack Hughes turned up just because he wanted to fight Conor McGregor's corner. Oh dear.
I swear I owe him a punch to the stomach for that.
You do.
I bargained.
It was something like a couple of punches, or you said you just give him one because you didn't want to hurt him.
Yeah, that's it.
But so you owe him that.
Coming for you, Jack.
Jack Hughes, mate.
To be fair, there's a rematch, so maybe you can do like a double or nothing in the cage.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna happen
With boxing rules.
Oh, it's even more stupid. Yeah.
On an MMA show.
Yeah. And then you play snooker between rounds. So
that's a brilliant idea. I like that.
How you been, Adrian, mate? Little while out the ring. How's things?
Yeah, things aren't too bad. I had to take some time out for personal reasons, but things seem to have steadied themselves, and I look forward to getting back in the ring.
May 19th, yeah?
Yeah, man, yeah.
We'll touch on that a bit later on. Obviously, we'd like to finish up talking about the boxers, so we'll do that. But we're going to start with last night's. Should we go to Eddie Hearn's show first? The Liverpool card. I probably watched less of that than any Matchroom show that's been televised in the last, couple of years. I only watched the main two fights. So, Adrian, you might probably know more about it than either of us. You watched Conor Benn?
Yeah, I watched Conor Benn. He actually looked really good last night.
What was his fight like? He had a tough one. Last time I saw him was against the French guy.
The French geezer,
was he as tough as that?
No. I mean, the geezer tried to do what the French guy did. I think, who was it? He boxed Chris Truman. He's got a winning record as well. Quite experienced. He's had over 20 bouts. So it was a real test for Conor. But Conor's a very explosive fighter, and if you really can't punch, or like you're not a really hard puncher that can keep him at bay, he's going to be all over you like a rash. And Truman just tried to take it to him and got peppered with fast combinations, and eventually got knocked out.
If you look at someone like a Conor Benn, right, and as current small hall fighters, how many fighters do we see regular in small hall that are better than him at this stage?
There are a few, but I think he's. It's with Conor Benn. There's two sides of it, right? Bearing in mind, he was like under 30 bout amateur, so he didn't have a massive amateur pedigree.
Well, their fucking official is that he didn't have hardly any, don't they? They say that he had very few, but I'm sure he was fighting over in Australia.
Yeah, 20 or 28 or something like that. Yeah, he didn't have many. He had a few in Australia, but the thing is, to the boxing purists, you think, well, he's not this massive hype job that everyone seems to think, and then to like the casual fan, he's the future. Now, coming from someone who's actually been in the ring with him, I can actually see the talent that he has got.
I think a lot of boxers though that do dig him out half jealousy. I do think a lot of people dig him out over jealousy.
For sure, yeah.
I get it because boxers.
He hasn't had to do any of the hard stuff.
They've been given a different road. I mean, some of these boxers complain too much. They need to just get over it and get on with their own career. But that's, I think, sometimes why he gets a lot of stick. Just because he's been given a different road to everyone else. Listen, you work hard, give your children a better route in boxing. it's just the way the world is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so fair
It's a good
play
point.
to him. He's running with the opportunity.
He's taking the opportunity he's been given.
And he's shining so far. You know, he's going to be managed a bit carefully at times, but he's still been given a hard test nonetheless. He's taken a knockdown, got back up, come back through and got a win. So, managed right, he's got a good career ahead of him. And the thing is, there is time, because he's a good ticket seller, I guess, a good person to have on the guys. He's very popular.
It's that name, innit? If we're being really honest, he's got a great surname behind him, and it's opened up so many doors that wouldn't have happened for normal guys. That's the truth of it. But is it his fault? No.
It's that guy who's got on that poster of yours. It's his fault, isn't it?
Yeah, that Nigel Ben geezer, yeah.
There are a couple on the small halls out there that would beat him. You know, I'm not going to say names, but there are a couple out there. But there are also a lot out there that are on small halls or have even been on other
I think he'd
shows.
fit in nicely. I do think he'd fit in nicely. What's he had now? 12.
That was 12 last night, was it?
Yeah,
12?
that was
I think you could stick him
last
with
night.
another 12-0 from small hall and he'd stand his own. I think he'd hold his own.
Yeah.
Maybe he'd get beaten, no he wouldn't, but I think he wouldn't be out of his depth. He wouldn't be well above him, but he wouldn't be out of his depth. I think even if he was on small hall shows for a 12-bout novice, is that the right word? Is he still a novice at 12-bout?
I think everyone's different. You know what? Nowadays, I don't think you can ever judge records solely on numbers.
Yeah.
Because there's guys like Joshua's had 8 or 9 fights more than him.
Lomachenko's a novice.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that fair?
On records, Conor Ben's better than Lomachenko, isn't he? Because he's undefeated.
It is. So
I'm looking at his CV now, and he's boxed some alright, like up and coming. I mean, I know Matchroom are clever. Now,
They're very
Matchroom-
intelligent with
They'll
their
take
matchmaking.
his opponents at the right time.
They do.
Matchroom will get you the right opponent with the right record, but someone that's quite beatable. I mean, we've all fought people that have got dreadful records that are fantastic fighters.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then there's some people with excellent records that are dreadful fighters. And I think they're very good at. I think Matchroom are very good at picking the right person to not only.
But everyone wants to do that though. Every manager wants to do that, but the problem is Matchroom have got the money to do it.
Yeah.
So everyone's manager wants to look after their fighter and bring him on nice and give him the right
If you look at a
fights,
Conor Ben,
but they just can't do
I
it.
can guarantee 2 days before fight night he's never been out selling tickets, throwing tickets about, getting let down, having to worry about paying for his purse.
He's resting,
He ain't got to worry about it. So that's where I can understand it is jealousy in a way, whether whether it's a negative jealousy or it's just he's got it luckier than me, a bit easier than me. It is what it is. He's got the name. He's on these shows. That the problem you have with him, again, I didn't watch last night. I haven't seen any of it, but he's having to learn in front of the cameras. Do you know what I mean? That ain't easy.
Nah, and he's a young man as well. He's made his mistakes. He insulted a dear friend of mine. You know what I mean? Like.
Outside of the ring, he's done some things, some questionable things. But listen, he's human.
But he's also young. He's a young lad. We all made mistakes when we were young.
He's a young lad with a lot of money now, a lot of hype around him, and it's hard to stay grounded for anyone in any walk of life.
And it's hard to get away with slipping up.
Yeah.
Because he's got all that attention around him. You slip up a lot when you're young. And
he's living the life, baby.
Yeah.
I think the good thing is you can see progression. You know what I mean? He's definitely learning, as you'd expect.
Yeah.
But he's a long way off British level.
Oh yeah.
He might be the first 30-0 fighter that fights for the British title, because I don't know. He's a long way. He
could fight for Southern Area though now.
He would win a
Depending.
Southern Area.
I wouldn't. What weight is he fighting?
At welter.
He's fighting at welter now.
I don't know if he beats Louis Green.
It was John O'Donnell, but that
English,
obviously. Oh, he was English. Sorry, of course he was. He was Southern Area. Won the English. Louis Green.
Louis Green's got it.
Yeah.
I don't think he beat Louis Green's puncher. I don't think he beats.
But
Louis
so
Green.
what if you can't beat him? Doesn't mean he can't compete.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a good point.
Do you know what I mean? You don't have to take a fight just because you know you're going to win it every time.
Yeah.
I've got a chance. If I think I've got a chance, it's worth taking it.
But this comes back to the argument that I have pretty much every podcast. I would rather see a guy at that stage fight and possibly lose, but learn, than just beat another guy he could have beaten his third fight. That's the problem I have. When you're 13, 14 and 0 or whatever, I don't want to see you beating the guy that could have been your third opponent.
But they could get him an opportunity for a WBO something international.
That's Frank Warren only, mate.
I'm not too sure.
No, I'm saying Frank Warren's relationship with the WBO, that would never happen. But you're right. They'll make up some title.
Some other belt somewhere a bit higher, because they're not.
100%, I agree.
Matchroom don't bother with Southern Area. Really,
very rarely.
Very rarely do they bother with Southern Area, and rightfully so. The boys that they get in, people that box on the WSB have already been pros. Anyone off the GB squad has been a pro for however long they've been on the squad. So they've got seasoned professionals.
Especially that WSB thing. I remember the first show. I went to one of the first ones in London.
Yeah.
I remember that. That was bloody affair. That.
Yeah.
Oh, that was bloody a good show.
Usyk and Joe Joyce fought each other in that, and
punching each other's heads in.
Yeah.
Blood left, right, and centre. They're doing 5 rounds. What they're doing?
Yeah.
I think it was 5 threes. Yeah.
No head guards.
Yeah.
That was good.
That's elite level pro stuff.
It was good.
And
good stuff.
and
World
just over
class
less
amateurs.
rounds. You know, so it's what's the point of them going on a Southern Area show and just dismantling someone? They can fight. The thing is, a lot of good level fighters. I've realised this now because I've sparred world champions and everything. Now, and I've been from gym to gym. I've been up Fury Camp, I've been in the match room, I've been here, there, and everywhere. Sort of travelled, and I can say the difference between a good fighter and a champion is marginal. It is so marginal. When you find that in the sparring, it is marginal. But there is something that these champions have is a little extra. And that makes the difference on fight night. And that could be the difference between a stoppage win or a shout-out points win. Because they just win every round by doing that little extra thing each round. And it's nuts. It's nuts.
Yeah.
It's so, it can be so marginal. And that's why...
Sometimes these guys will have learned in their losses as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you look at a George Groves, for example, for how he sort of handled Eubank with ease, I believe them experiences of his losses, that they made a massive difference. So, yeah, I want to see more guys. Conor Benn, you could fight Southern Area level in the next couple of fights, I'd imagine.
Yeah, but I think...
Win or lose.
I think they should.
Yeah.
But I
know
think
they could move on to something else, but if you've got a boy that's massively talented from the amateurs, you can skip that Southern Area. Conor Benn can't skip that Southern Area level.
Yeah.
He might because they actually can, but I don't think he should, because I think he'll gain in respect as well in boxing with the boxers.
Yeah, he'll gain in respect with the boxing
I
contingent.
know getting respect from the boxers doesn't help.
But will the buy-in, the ticket buy-in man give a fuck what level? Like you touched on it, a version of a WBA Intercontinental. You know what I mean? It wouldn't surprise me if Eddie threw that kind of title at Conor Benn fight in the next year or so.
Why are they going to move him to a belt worth less than something that will sell more? Because you've got to remember, Conor Benn is someone people are interested in watching on pay-per-view. People aren't interested in paying pay-per-view for a Southern Area fight. But if you hear it's a on the undercard of a world title fight, an Intercontinental title, English title or something like that, that sells. Southern Area just doesn't sell.
Because of the casual, I think if you start Conor Benn in with some of a local small hall fighter that everybody knows, a lot of boxers would then come out to watch it that wouldn't have gone to watch him against some foreigner brought in that he's going to beat anyway.
But the box,
you understand what I mean?
I get what you mean.
You're saying, but sadly, on a business side of it,
it doesn't make business sense to risk
the boxing fan is not as big as the casual fan. There is a bigger outreach of. And then I hear about, like, Conor Benn is around our area, isn't he, Rich? Brentwood sort of way. I always hear about he's the guy that everyone talks about. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
So, you know, they want to see him do well. I think Eddie Hearns is going to make sure that happens. So good luck to him.
Let's move on to the Tommy Coyle and Sean Dodd. You ain't seen this, have you?
No.
Adrian, you seen this?
Yeah, Tommy gives a shout out for Tommy Coyle. He
punched shit out of Sean Dodd, didn't he?
He did.
I didn't think it would be as one-sided. Like, Dodd really didn't have any success. Any?
Nah, I mean, I saw it at the start, and Sean Dodd, I don't know how. This is going to sound really disrespectful, but I don't know how he was a Commonwealth champion. Does he have a big punch? Is he a massive puncher or something?
I think if you look at his victories and the people he's fought, I mean, I think he's got a great engine, and he's got a great work rate. I don't think he's exceptional at anything. And he might have been in the right place at the right time. Maybe that's disrespectful as well. I don't know, but I know what you mean. He's not. He doesn't have any attributes where you go. He does that.
No. In response to that, has Ricky Burns got anything that stands out spectacular?
No, that's 100% right.
He's got nothing that's absolutely spectacular, but he's pretty good at absolutely everything.
Free weight world champion.
So you don't need a standout.
Yeah, but
you don't need a standout thing to win fights. You don't need a big punch.
No.
You don't need to be fast.
Yeah.
You need to be smart. And be pretty good at everything and be consistent.
Ring IQ counts for a lot, doesn't it?
He didn't show
That's
that.
what Ricky Burns does.
He didn't. I think he got shook up earlier than he imagined he would.
Do you want to know why? It's something that so little boxers do. Move their fucking head. Move their head. He didn't. He came in there with his arms wide open, so there's a right target down the middle. Now I get some people like to box with a loose guard and everything. You know, I can be a sucker for dropping my left hand and everything and what have you. But he didn't even move his head with it. He literally was walking, hands open, in a straight line without moving his hand. And you know.
Was Richie scribbling down? Just say it.
Put marathon on.
Put the marathon on. Richie Gray scribbling something down. Put fucking marathon on. I was actually going to put the fucking Coyle and Dodd highlight on so you can have something to talk about, you prick. I just want to see grown men running again. Oh yeah, look, it's right on the stoppage now. Let me stop that right there. 1 second. Alright, so after Richie scribbling, the marathon's now on telly, but we've gone back and watched Dodd and Coyle. So you happy now?
Well happy.
Well happy. Alright. Your point was very well proven, Adrian. Dodd really didn't move his head a lot.
Not at all.
And Coyle just had a field day, didn't he? He waited for his opportunities and landed quite heavy on a number of occasions. Quite an easy fight for him in the end.
Well, yeah, he's doing all right now, Tommy Coyle's come back. He stopped Rakeem Noble, and now he's got another stoppage with Sean Dodd. So I imagine they'll give him a bit more of a testing fight now.
Do you think he'll carry on and go forward? Because in my opinion, there's a case for him saying, I've achieved enough now, because I don't believe he'll ever make world level or anything like that. And he said he doesn't need to box. He said that again last night. He reiterated that he does it out of the love for it. And I just hope he's achieved enough now that he can step away, because I don't think he can compete with guys at a slightly bigger level above him, slightly higher level even. I don't believe he can compete. So I think if I was him, I'd step away now. Mate, it ain't a bad career, is it? Commonwealth champion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, he's done well, yeah. If that's the case, then
how old is he?
Good luck to him. Leave with a good
Early
shot.
30s, 32, maybe 33.
Depends how much he loves the game then, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Fun. I mean, there's one or two fighters hanging around at the minute when perhaps they shouldn't.
Yeah, there is a couple.
You know.
Yeah, maybe there might be a
he just
big
loves the
payday.
sport.
There might be an opportunity for a big payday or another fight that comes about at the right time. But if not, if he's happy with where he's achieved, then that is where he's going to go with it all. Then good luck. Leave with a sharp mind. Leave unhurt.
Yeah.
See, people talking about how far does he want to go and stuff like that when people lose. No one really ever thinks, do they just like fighting?
Yeah.
Do they just like fighting? That's it. He just might just enjoy what he does still.
Yeah.
Regardless of money, regardless of achievements, he might just still enjoy what he does.
Yeah, it's the motivation, I'd imagine, that you boys do your camp. You know, when you look from an outside at what you guys go through in a camp, we've spoken about it in detail, your moods and just what it does to your body.
Yeah.
Do you want to be putting yourself through that?
If you love it, you love it.
Yeah.
I fucking love it. I love it. I love it when I feel tired. I love it when I feel good. I love it when I'm hungry. I love it.
But does everyone feel like you?
No, they don't. But what I'm saying is, there's no, just because someone started losing at a certain level doesn't mean they're going to stop loving it.
Yeah.
They might still love it, win or lose. They don't care. They just love
Ricky
it.
Burns is still going.
If we get this wasp in the podcast.
That's alright. What are you thinking about it, mate? We call him Wayne. He's fucking huge. He's got a head like a boulder. Look at him. Fucking hell. Get out of it. You look at Ricky Burns. Ricky Burns is, he's coming off a defeat again to Crawler after getting beat up by Ndongo, and he's still going because he just loves it. So yeah, we've had the discussion a million times. Who is the person to tell them when it's time to stop? They can only decide themselves.
Getting knocked out 4 times sometimes a good indication.
Well, you'd think so, but David Price is still going on. He's still going to continue. So
no, I'm not going to tell him to stop, but maybe he should start boxing like welterweights or something and see if he can get through the fight.
Yeah, see if he can.
He's a lovely bloke, David Price, but it's getting dangerous at that level. 4 big knockouts like that. How much time do you want to take off your life?
I think when they touch gloves, I'm always like watching his legs in case he starts to wobble. Even that early on, when I touch gloves and you see his knees start to rumble.
Do you know, it's hard because he's one of them guys. I've never seen anyone say a bad word about him as a bloke.
He's got world class everything except chin.
Mentality, I don't believe he's mentally there. I don't believe he's mentally as strong as some other boxers
very nervous.
I've seen. Yeah,
very, very nervous.
He has this weird nervous energy about him in there.
Yeah. And the thing is, he started. Why I was really gutted for him. He started to relax. He really did start to relax, and then I think he might have just relaxed a little bit too much.
Yeah, it was it's one of those things. We'll see. Rich, stop fucking smashing the gaff up. He's throwing things everywhere. His fidgety little hands. That's all it is. Let's talk about Amir Khan. We just watched that back. Tremendous fight, toe to toe slugfest. Could have gone either way. It was dog shit, wasn't it?
It was a home corner decision, really, wasn't
it? I thought LaGreco was winning up to the stoppage. I'll be honest.
Lucky punch, really.
How bad was that?
Did LaGreco throw a punch?
I don't think he did. Do you know the weird thing about LaGreco?
No, he did. He did that thing at the start where he pushed his left hand out for a second
to invite Amir Khan's uppercut.
To sort of check the range, and he got hit with a 14-shot combination.
Yeah, he had quite short arms as well. But the weird thing is, if you look at his record, he went. I'm gonna fucking forget now. But I looked at it. Aid, can you bring it up, please? BoxRec, Phil LaGreco. I looked at his record and he went, on short notice, he went like 10 rounds with, I'm going to say Spence, but I'm probably fucking wrong, so I'm going to let you find it and then go, yeah, that was the geezer I was talking about.
Oh, no, he did. He got knocked out by Spence.
What round?
I can't remember. But he's never boxed a 12-rounder.
Why
is he fighting he's fighting a 2-weight world champion? He's never fought a 12-rounder.
I mean, I guess it was smart
but
matchmaking.
2-weight world champion that's been out of the ring for a while.
And in the jungle for 2 years. They were trying to make you believe on Sky. The fucking commentary was a joke. He's out of his reality TV now. He's back.
No, he went the distance with Sean Porter.
That was it. He went the distance with Sean Porter on short notice. Good.
But
it's a guy that.
Errol Spence stopped him in 3 rounds. Khan stopped him in. The thing is, Khan, right? He's very, very fast, right? So if you're not on that world level, he will knock you out very
his
fast.
Hand speed is tremendous.
His hand speed is tremendous, and he can punch a bit.
Yeah,
I think it's this move, signing with Eddie Hearn. I think he's too good for the Eddie Hearn system. Does that make sense? I know he's probably you've got these other stars on Eddie Hearn, but Amir Khan's been there, he's done it, and I don't think he needs it. And I don't fully understand why he's done it, except for maybe there's a few fights that he needs to be on Eddie Hearn with, but he can still get, regardless of his losses, and he's 2 years out, if he wanted, he could come back, fight in Vegas, get a big American name. He could get that straight away.
Yeah.
So for me, I think he's too good for the Eddie Hearn system. It's a system, of his system.
Yeah, no, I understand.
It's British boxing. It's the Eddie Hearn system of British boxing.
The Sweet Caroline.
Maybe he just wants to be part of the show that everyone's talking about in a minute. But I really don't think he's needed it. I think he could have done his own thing, gone back to the world stage straight away. Even if he didn't want to box a world champion, he could have had a 10-rounder or box someone a little below world level. Could have got that himself, or he's managing himself, or his dad was managing, whatever. He could have done this all himself. I really don't get it, other than the Brook fight. Unless Aaron said to him, "I'll only give you that fight if you come with me for a few fights." Because he's got a 3-fight contract.
Yeah, 3 fights. See, that was the first thing I thought when I saw Khan had gone with her. And I thought,
does that count as a fight?
Is
that one of them?
I don't know. I don't know how you class
does that count?
I guess people were.
Was it public sparring?
Yeah, exhibition.
I thought Khan's kind of big for a promotional contract. You know what I mean? He's sort of one of these people who can pick his own terms.
Not too big for a promotional contract, but he's done so well on his own. I don't know why he needs it. He doesn't need any of this. He could say, other than Floyd Mayweather not giving him that opportunity, most fighters he can say, "I'll fight you," and then most of them are going to take it because he's still an attraction.
He's a real pay-per-view sensation. He's someone you want to watch. You will pay to watch.
You don't know what's going to happen. He might knock you out. He might get knocked out. He's not, even though he's been knocked out, he's not scared. It hasn't put him off.
Yeah.
So he's still excited to watch.
Look at Maidana.
And I still think
that's one of my favourite ever fights. Khan made.
Maidana's one of my favourite fighters.
2010 fight of the year, wasn't it? That was a fucking classic.
That was a blinder. But you see, he took some big shots off of that. So I think with Khan, it's not that he's. I know he's been chinned a few times.
He's been caught with bombs.
Realistically, the only times he's lost is because he's been knocked out. Let's be honest. Peterson fight.
That was a bomb.
That was bullshit.
It was an absolute haymaker out of nowhere, wasn't it? No, you're on about. I was thinking about Prescott.
No. Lamont Pearson. That was a bit. Let's say home favouritism.
Yeah.
Like he won that really, Khan. And the only times he has been dropped is by world class fighters. Prescott
was early, I guess.
That was just a lucky shot. He got the
shot
off.
He
just dropped a bomb.
He's been knocked that badly.
Garcia then knocked out everyone else with the same shot.
Yeah. And then obviously Canelo left him.
That's not fair because he's 14 divisions above him.
Yeah, and
Khan had no business at middleweight.
Steroids, 14 divisions above, concrete gloves.
Yeah, it wasn't good. Listen, the thing with Khan...
But he went 6. Went it 6 or was it 5?
4. 4 or 5, but even Khan looked good in the early stages.
He did.
But he was always going to get caught when he hit that weight.
What's going to happen when you put a welterweight in with a middleweight? He's going to get boxed off for a few rounds. When the middleweight times him off, that's it. Boom.
Or cruiserweight.
Oh, Canelo, Pedello, Clubello, whatever they call him. Yeah. Who knows, mate? We'll touch on that later. There's a question about him. But when I first saw Khan was with her, and I'd assumed it was to make the Brook fight. And then you see how Khan spoke after that fight last night. So you get Kell Brook gets in the ring and he's standing behind fucking Khan's entourage, and Eddie's brought him in to build up a fight. You can see it. He's done it before. It's a technique that's worked before. And he's standing there. Talk to me, baby. Talk to me. Where you going, Amir? Come here, Amir. I'm talking to you, baby. No. And you got fucking Amir just saying no. Like basically, that fight last night was £150, and he reckons he can still make welterweight and win world titles.
What, Khan?
Yeah, Kell Brook's never going to fight a welterweight again. I don't believe the fight will happen. And if it does, I probably care less about that than a David Price against Tom Dallas fight. Deadly serious.
Nah.
Yeah, no, I'm deadly serious. I don't like it. Why? Because it should have been done 2 years ago, 3 years ago. This is the problem you have, yeah?
What, 2 damaged goods against each other?
Yes.
Yeah, but I think
that's how I feel.
Kell Brook's damaged. Khan isn't damaged.
Khan is...
Yeah.
Khan more damaged from his time off than he is his knockouts. Kell Brook's more damaged from his knockout than he is...
Yeah.
Than he is any
the
time
eyes
off.
hanging...
That's
a good point.
When he's lost, he's been beat up or knocked out, and I feel like it's affected him.
You know, it's going to be the same situation with Joshua Wilder. When Joshua Wilder happens in 2020, we'll all go, but the fight should have happened back then
2030.
Whenever it happens.
Do you know what? I think Joshua would have had a better chance 2 fights ago at beating Deontay Wilder than he does now. Now, he's more interested with, like, he didn't take no risks in Parker. No risks. So he just plodded through. He done a Klitschko. Plodded through, got his way through.
It's not a bad road to follow if you're going to follow someone who's been a world champion for that many years.
Yeah,
that's not a bad road to follow, mate.
Be that
exciting or not, win's a win.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, Parker should have then stepped it up and gone for it.
Yeah, but it's easy to say that. You're not getting punched in the face by someone who's trying
Well,
you're fighting for a world title.
There was a fight like that
man, that's a world title fight. If I'm fighting for a world title and I'm behind on almost every round, man, I've got to go for a knockout. Otherwise,
it's easy to say that sitting here, though, isn't it? It's easy to say that sitting here.
When I find myself in a losing position, believe me, I'm going to...
Was that a dig, Rich?
No. It wasn't a dig at all.
October, September, October. I think I've got an opponent now.
No, but what I mean is when I'm in that position.
Yeah, I know you.
I know what you mean. No, I completely agree. Listen, if you lose and you think I've got nothing to lose, I'm going to lose on points anyway. I might as well get knocked out if I'm going to try.
Yeah.
But when you've got someone slamming sledgehammers in your face, I think you think, right, I'll go now. Boom. I'll go now. Boom. Yeah. I'll go now. And you just, I think sometimes you think, when's my opportunity? I actually think he did better than what everyone expected. I actually thought he was going to get blown away, and I think you said something about it. I thought Parker was just.
Yeah. They're strong Samoans, didn't they?
I didn't believe Parker had a knockout punch to hurt Joshua. Then he 10-8 didn't.
But then it 10-8 did, yeah.
Anyway, we were talking about Amir Khan. This has gone all the way.
Yeah, we've got to talk about Joshua.
Adrian's called me out.
Yeah. It's all changed. Yeah, it's all right. But to sum up, Amir Khan. Oh, look at that! That was bromantic. Amir Khan, he did what he was going to do when he. Like, let's be honest, he beat the guy, beat him quicker than most people thought he was going to, I guess. But yeah,
it's a nice payday for a minute, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is what it is, mate. Let's talk about the Frank Warren card because it's getting late, and they'd know a lot about that. Their main event finished after midnight last night. Fucking hell, it was a bit annoying at times, and there's been a couple of questions about that actually, which I'm going to do all the questions at the end because the way this pod's going, we're just going off on a tangent and we're just talking about absolute nonsense.
Well, we can rush through one because I didn't watch it.
All right. Tete had a fight exactly how you just described. He won every minute of every round against this old man who... He's about 42 on paper, wasn't he? I think they said.
Yeah, something like that.
He was at least 63.
Now.
Oh, was that the one where the commentators were...
The commentators literally abused Tete, yeah. After the fight, they were apologising.
He's 42.
Man was 42 years old, mandatory challenger. He didn't go for broke, and Tete didn't step on the gas.
At bantamweight, man. That,
mental, isn't
it? You've gone in your 30s at bantamweight, ain't you? Like
the heavier you are, the longer you can go, but...
Yeah.
Generally speaking, it's the rule of thumb, isn't it?
But it was disappointing from Tete that, he wanted to make an impression. His last fight, 11-second knockout, and then last night he just went through the motions and plodded. And plodded sounds like it wasn't. I mean, he did everything right, didn't he? He won the fight convincingly, but
it's boring.
Didn't put up any trees.
I put listen, styles make fights. I put a thing on Instagram a little while ago about this. Styles make fights, and unfortunately, you cannot predict how two fighters are going to gel until you've actually seen them. They can be very similar styles to other styles that are boxable, but unless it's exactly the same style, you never know what's going to happen.
Yep.
You would have thought, what's it? Is it Narvaez?
Yeah.
Yeah, Narvaez would have come out to try a little bit more, but he just, he basically did the survival thing and just put his hands up, took the shots on the gloves and on the forehead.
Payday,
through the
opportunity,
yeah.
Bit of fame.
I mean, Burnett is the fight we want to see. We want to see Tete and Burnett now. That's the, that's the fight that makes sense, I think.
Yeah.
But Warren and Hearn working together, I have no idea if it can even happen. So time will tell on that one. Carl Frampton, Nonito Donaire, on paper good fight. Donaire a 4-weight world champion. 4-weight? Or have I just made that up? That was Broner as a 4-weight, I think. Donaire as a multiple weight world champion either way. Was one of the most feared fighters for a long time. But it's been on the slide. As I believe Carl Frampton is.
I don't think Carl Frampton's on the slide. I just think he's plateaued.
I think he's plateaued.
He's plateaued. He hasn't got any better, but he hasn't got worse.
No, I think he was a 4-weight world champion as well.
Yeah.
I don't think Carl Frampton's got worse. I just don't think he's got better.
I think you have to be fair and say he looked better last night than he did when he fought the Mexican back in the last year.
This is the thing. Like, it only takes a couple of...
It might even be a 5-weight world champion.
Takes a couple of balanced fights, if you like, that are not superb. But people turn around and go, oh, no, he's on the side now. So I
also wonder if you have to take a new trainer into consideration. He's now with Jamie Moore, was with Shane McGuigan for a long time before that. So does that make any difference? Does that have any bearing? I don't know, but I guess you're right. Time will tell if he can increase the levels again. If you look, he won the fight convincingly. I think the judges gave him on one scorecard it was 10 rounds to 2. I gave it around 9-3, 8-4. It was there or thereabouts. Yeah, he won the fight.
It was a shutout win for Frampton. You know,
he took some shots that he shouldn't have took. In the 7th round, he took some uppercuts against the rope. He shouldn't be taking them. And in the 11th, he took about 2 big left hooks. Yeah. And he stepped back and he was like, fucking hell, like, you still have to be...
11th and 12th round, he put himself at risk, but I think he sort of... I think Frampton almost switched off. I think he knew he'd won. I think in himself he knew he wasn't taking Donaire out of there, so he just was seeing the fight out without taking any risks and obviously taking the win.
Yeah.
And winning the title. You know, I think that must have been the game plan towards the end, because he was outboxing him, outscoring him, outworking him up until that point. And then just those last 2 rounds, I've won this fight. I just need to not get stopped and get through and I've won.
And Frank Warren has promised him a Windsor Park date now in the summer.
Nice.
So he's going to fight in a stadium. Now, the only person it can really be, in my opinion, is going to be the winner of Selby and Warrington that happens at Ellen Road in May.
That'd be interesting.
So that only gives a couple of months turnaround for the winner of that fight. You know what I mean? I say the winner of that fight. What I mean to say is Lee Selby, but
I agree.
I think Frampton against Selby's a great fight,
and
that's the fight that I think we'll see.
That'll be a brilliant fight.
Anything else to add on that? There's questions to ask about the card, and we'll do the questions at the end. But you know, the fact that card on paper was better than Eddie Hearn's, and then it turned into pretty dull. And again, you can't always blame the promoter for that. You know, I mean, you've got to be the first to admit that. Until the fights have played out, it's hard to say, well, I knew it was going to do that. Do you know what I mean? You can't then... Hindsight is a great thing, isn't it? But it was pretty dull, man. You didn't miss a lot, Rich.
Watch some highlights.
Watch some highlights, they were dull.
I think I text halfway through the highlights.
You'd rather be watching the marathon. It's still on, look.
It's not a sprint, Sam.
Is it not?
It's not a sprint.
Alright. How long does it go on for? Careful, there's traffic lights there. He's going to fucking fall over, look.
Depends how fast you run, mate.
Yeah, no, he needs to be careful.
Anyway, boxing podcast. Don't get distracted.
I want to talk about... you got anything else to add on that BT card? I thought it was pretty pants to be... Oh, you know what? I will add, actually. Luke Keeler against Conrad Cummins. I thought Luke Keeler looked decent. He punched shit out of Conrad Cummins, and I didn't see that coming.
I'm glad excuse the pun. But yeah.
Could have been stopped earlier on cuts, because Keeler had a few cuts, quite bad cuts on his eyes, and I thought I think I tweeted out after the 6th, the ref would do well to stop this and let it go to the judges, because it was definitely a headbutt that caused it, or clash of heads rather than a headbutt. But he ended up getting the decision as well, so fair play to Luke Keeler. Good fights out there for him now. Another MTK versus MTK fight that was. Yeah. A lot of them were on it last night. Read into that what you will, I guess. The American card in Brooklyn, Gervonta Davis, another fucking...
He's epic.
He's brutal, isn't he?
He's epic. I like him. I think he's got a nice classy style. He's very textbook. I think they were both standing the wrong way round. I mean, I don't know, talking about...
It's called Southpaw, that is.
Both standing wrong, but no, I think Davis is special. I like him. I like watching. I think he's entertaining. I think he can punch. I think he's classy. I think he looks the part.
Yeah.
He seems to have got his weight
got
problems as well.
He's got everything you need to be a star, I think.
Yeah, I think he's going to be one of the next real big pay-per-view sensations coming through.
Yeah.
You know, being built up by Mayweather as well, you can't get a better mentor in boxing.
As long as their relationship stays, because they've had a couple of bits of public spats.
Mayweather falls out with everyone.
Yeah, Javonta had a little dig at him on Instagram a few months ago.
But listen, all these are said and done. Mayweather always makes up with these people. It could just be part of the show.
Maybe.
Be part of the show.
Javonta Davis, I believe he's special, and I'm glad he's got his weight, because everyone assumed when he lost his IBF title on the scales, didn't he?
Yeah.
Super featherweight. And everyone assumed he was going to go up to lightweight now, and he didn't. He fought again last night, a pound under the limit. Again, super featherweight world champion now. Fair fucks to him, mate. I think he's special. And I think he'll go up to lightweight at some point anyway. But I do believe it's too soon to be talking about Lomachenko. There's a lot of talk that after Linares...
Why is it too soon? Is he not experienced enough?
He's a novice, isn't he, Lomachenko? I don't think you need to make that fight now. I don't think you need to make Javonta Davis against Lomachenko now. I don't know why, but then Lomachenko probably won't be around for a long time. But
he's not young.
No, he's not. He's not.
He's in the early 30s.
And I guess Canelo learnt from his Mayweather fight and he fought him early. But I don't see how Javonta can beat Lomachenko right now. I don't think anyone in the world beats Lomachenko.
Just because you don't see him happening, I think it's a great fight before we run out of time with.
Yeah.
The Matrix Man.
The Matrix Man.
I'd say,
he's on some sort of life slowing down pills. I'm telling you.
I wouldn't sell out Linares against.
I would.
Yeah.
Easy. Linares
I said that ages ago. I said that to Davis, and he was like, "No, I don't think so."
Mate, time will tell. What date is that fight?
It's not long.
It's May, isn't it? I think Lomachenko Linares.
Yeah.
I would bet. I'd be willing to bet a substantial amount of money that is a very easy fight for Lomachenko. I believe that Linares is washed. And I hate to say that because he's a beautiful looking man. And he's a beautiful looking man. But I don't think he's got it anymore.
No, but you may be right. He's getting on, isn't he?
Perfect timing.
It's perfect timing.
But
it's a very good name for your record.
I do think Linares is going to give Lomachenko a cut.
It's something different again, isn't it?
Because he's going to come game. Because the other guys, although they come game, they all know he's doing the Matrix stuff, and they're all a bit tense and a bit worried about it, and they all give up on their stall.
I think it would have been a hard ask for Linares before, but now that he's split from his long-term trainer, Ismail Salas, I think it's going to be an even harder ask. And I can't see it. I can't see Linares laying a glove on Lomachenko. Maybe he'll nick around us too, but I think Lomachenko will stop him. I do.
Yeah, he's stopping.
Lomachenko
is a special talent. I remember watching him in the amateurs. He bashed up Sam Maxwell once, didn't he?
Yeah.
And they boxed a couple of times.
His record was like 390.
He's beat
390 undefeated or something like that.
Lost one.
Oh, lost one. 390 for one.
The person,
bad,
I swear there's something funny about it. The person he got beaten by, he went on and beat.
I beat him twice. Beat him twice
he's
again.
Beating everyone he's fought.
Yeah.
Apart from
Salido.
Salido
won't rematch him, will he?
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't. Yeah, I'm the only person who's beaten him.
Yeah.
I'll take that. Yeah.
Yeah. Jamal Charlo is. I showed you his stoppage earlier.
Those twins.
Them twins, mate. They are fucking. I mean, first of all, it's really cruel parenting to have identical twins and give them one letter different in their name. Jamel and Jamal. I mean, you're having a laugh, mate. I knew a geezer that had twins. No word of a lie. I worked with him 1 year, and he had twins called Eric and Derek. I thought that was cruel, but Jamel and Jamal is pretty bad as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Cruel, yeah.
Yeah, he was the middleweight. It's difficult, isn't it? Because you look at the top of the hill and you see Golovkin.
Do you reckon he was the one that came out first then? That's why he went up the heavier.
I'm pretty sure they both were fighting at middle and they had to make a decision when they got to world level.
No, one was super.
Has he always been super welter?
And one went up. I think.
Oh, okay, he went up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they had to make the decision. The plan, I guess, is to both be a world champ, innit?
But they're both big enough. Yeah, I mean, they're not exactly skinny, and they're both 6'1" in height, so they're both big lumps. So they're both massive for their weights. Even at middleweight, he's massive for the weight. So, but them two, they need to start putting them out there more on the world scene. Not
Can you imagine how marketable they'll be? Like, there's two of them. You know what I mean?
And they're both world champions, I think.
Yeah,
we had brothers fight out in a world title fight before.
That'd never happen. It just wouldn't happen, would
Why
it?
wouldn't it?
The Klitschko's wouldn't fight. I can't imagine the Charlos would ever fight each other.
I'm not saying they should. I'm saying
this isn't a movie, Rich.
Has it
What's that film?
Has it happened?
Oh,
it's one of them pathetic. Oh yeah, that's.
Has it happened?
Dreadful film. I don't know. I'm not a historian. Let's phone Spencer.
You've got a boxing podcast. You should know this.
Phone Spencer Fearon. He'll tell you. But yeah, you look at the top of the tree at middleweight and you go Golovkin and Billy Joe. Just that's the fight I want to see, and the rest of them I'm sure will fall in line. But who does Charlo fight next? He would have took that Golovkin fight against who's Golovkin fighting now? Veins Mortasian or something. He's been out of the ring 2 years, but yeah.
He's just going to knock him out. Isn't he?
Well, this is it. But what can he do when Canelo's off doing what he did? So
Billy Joe, that's what he can do.
Billy Joe would be in July or later because Martin Murray. Martin Murray has been given the fight with Billy Joe, and they're both MTK, so they're going to make sure that fight is the headline fight on a Frank Warren bill. Adrian Broner. What do you think of Broner? Do you think he's a dickhead like a lot of people do? A great boxer. What are your thoughts on Broner, Rich?
He's a bit of a sausage, but I do think he's entertaining. He's good for the sport in a lot of ways. Obviously, he says things and you think, like, people watch boxing, kids watch boxing, and what you're saying is you shouldn't be saying that shit. But at the end of the day, it's entertaining. He gets views. People want to watch it. I like to watch him because you don't know what he's going to say. You don't know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
He's entertaining. I quite like watching him box because of the things he does.
Yeah.
As a talent,
he's a character, isn't he?
He's a character, but regardless. As a talent, when it comes to boxing, yeah, he's good. He's world class. He'll be one of them boys who'll win a title or lose a title. He might win another title or lose it. He's going to have a career like that because he's beatable.
Yeah.
He's beatable. He's took another style and tried to make it his own. He hasn't made his own style. I think that's probably why he hasn't perfected the style he's got. That's probably why he got beat.
I also think his ego gets him beat.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Did you watch the full fight last night? You didn't get to watch the full thing.
He plays around a little bit, and that's what. But again, I think that all suits his style. I think that's all part of the show. I don't think that's why he loses. I think he loses. Not limited is a really unfair word to use, but if someone's style is to stick it on you, they're consistently sticking it on you.
He's quite
it'll
tough.
Work. It'll work. No, listen, he's got it all. He's got it all. He just loses sometimes because people are just. He's not so far ahead of everyone.
I think modern boxing has become so much about I think the Mayweather show has made everyone see boxing as you've got to be undefeated.
Yeah.
Right, because Mayweather was 50 and 0.
We're going to talk about that again, Adrian.
No. You look at some of the greatest fighters. Look at the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali. Might not have been the best boxer of all time, but he was definitely the greatest. And he took his losses. He got dropped. He got stopped.
Lennox Lewis, mate, got knocked out clean. Hasim Rahman.
Mike Tyson
came back. It is what it is, mate. Like people
I know what you mean. In this day and age, they always made that to be a big thing.
Yeah,
it really is make a big thing.
Look at that era with Burns, Hagler and Sugar Ray.
But sometimes having that loss, which I think for me, it frees you. It frees you from. I was always one of them fighters that would fight anyone anyway. I'd be up for fighting anyone. Don't really care if I'd win or lose anyway. But it frees you from that. It frees you when you've got that when you've lost that. It frees you from thinking about. If I lose that,
it's not relevant. It's
completely irrelevant now.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if I lose 1, 2 or 3 now. It doesn't matter. I can take any fight I want any time without any work. My record's not going to change it much more. If that makes sense.
No, I understand.
It takes you out of a zone and gives you freedom.
You look at Adrian Broner, 4-weight world champion, now has 3 losses on his record.
Mm-hmm.
And a draw from last night. But when you look back at his career in years and years and years to come, you're not going to go, oh, but he lost 3. You're going to go 4-weight world champion. Done fucking all right.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? So
I think records are what they are. But I think personally, I always think, and I see it from the start of my career, it's always that you like the fighter or you don't. Regardless of their record, you like them or you don't. I like watching a fight. Arturo Gatti, he lost loads of fights.
Yeah.
But he was entertaining. People loved him. He's entertaining.
Yeah.
They knew what he brought to the table, and that's what people liked. And I think you'll be remembered more for the fights you're in and the styles rather than results of the fights.
You're never going to forget him because of the
just any fights in general.
Fights
In general, you'll be remembered for the fights you was in and the style of your fight. I think that's what. So
definitely.
Always good for marketing.
Definitely.
When they're trying to market you, but really, if you
literally couldn't have summed it up any better. You look through what is widely regarded as one of the best eras in our country at middleweight: the Ben, Eubank, Watson,
all losing to each other.
They all lost to each other. So Collins, I mean,
it makes it more exciting. If someone's battering them all up.
Yeah,
it's just kind of it's the Mayweather show.
Yeah,
it's the Mayweather show. It's just let's just see if someone can beat him.
But
that's what it is. But when everyone's losing, you've got real fights, and you think You don't know who's going to win.
I think with Mayweather, he was just so much better than everyone. There weren't no beating him. He was just that. I
think he lost one fight in his career, and that was Castillo.
Yeah, the first time.
I thought De La Hoya was close.
No, he beat De La Hoya.
I think he beat De La
Hoya. I thought De La Hoya was close.
I think Castillo won. I think he lost by a round or two, if I remember going back and watching it. But apart from that, I think he scored pretty much anyone who ever entered the ring with him. People who are big Pacquiao fans will use the fact that fight should have been 4 years earlier.
When he was on HGH and testosterone.
Yeah, but this is it.
There you go.
This is it.
Funny how his fist and head grew.
And he jumped up how many weight classes? 8 division world.
8 weight division world champion.
That shit ain't natural. I'm telling you that now.
I think 85% of the game. I think we've been through this before.
Yeah, we have.
85% of the people at the top are on it. I think Billy Joe Saunders is probably one of the only top middleweights at AIM.
Maybe that's being biased because he's British. Because a lot of people, a lot of people don't buy into the whole Sheffield thing.
He's not crazy strong, crazy. He's not got.
He doesn't have that
physical,
physique. Yeah.
He hasn't got all that. He's boxing pure. I mean, Golovkin's got this freakish knockout power. Canelo's always enormous. You know, these boys have got something going that's just sort of like
slightly different, slightly more.
Yeah, that's like, where's that coming from?
I think Mayweather
Hopkins doing push-ups in round 11 against a 27-year-old.
Yeah,
I think Mayweather was clean throughout his career, but he had two retirements he had?
Yeah,
where he
was out for a couple of years.
Would have used.
Listen,
because you can in your retirement, you can because you're not competing.
What I will say, the only thing I'll say about it, I don't know the ins and outs of what drugs do for you, etc. You know what I mean? There's so many different ones. What I will say is, in the year 2018, the fucking technology we have, don't tell me there aren't things that can't be traced yet. Do you know what I mean?
There is. I think there is.
Of course there is. There has to be. You can't test for what you don't know exists.
Yes, I think this is what I think happens. Right, we'll start off using steroids. Right, they know fighters using steroids now. We'll stop doing that. Right, we'll start using growth hormones. Right, they found out people use growth hormones. We use recoveries now. Right, they found out about that. We'll use focus. They'll find something else that give you some advantage in some way. We'll do nerve damage.
There's also a lot of masking agents. There's a lot of masking agents as well. You can take A, B, and C, and D, E, and F will mask that.
Cancel it out.
Yeah.
Well, you can take something, and you've got this little drink. You drink it.
Yeah, I just think whatever you do, they'll just take something else.
The thing is, right, they're not the ones that get done for it. The ones that get done for it are people like me or you, Rich, that would go and take. If we were to take a pre-workout.
Oh yeah, Dillian White.
Dillian White. He got done for it. We could take a pre-workout in the gym, not even just because it's like we think it's a caffeine boost, but it has some form of banned substance in it that probably wouldn't help you that much anyway. It only if you used it in a much larger scale, but because you've used it once, you're getting banned because it's a banned substance.
I think they're all doing it. I think they're all doing it. What they'll do, if there's 4 of them doing it, they'll all do it, and they're all like, we'll all do it. If a new person comes along and goes, right, I want to be part of this little circle of world champions and making money, they'll go, no, he don't fit in with us, he's doing drugs. I'm doing exactly the same as you lot, prove it.
Yeah.
And then 4 of them will
since we're talking about it, that's actually one of the questions. Rob Cass, what are your views on Canelo Alvarez suspension for 6 months? Do you think he was let off lightly? Also, do you think it was a PED, or did he just have a dodgy kebab like he reckons?
I do think he was let off lightly. The worst bit about it is that we've gone, right, 6 months ban, backdated from 6 months ago when you test was, so you can box tomorrow.
Yep.
Basically, or is it 3 months?
They're going to let him fight in September, which is when he would have been fighting anyway.
3 month backdate.
So he's missing 1 payday.
Which is unfair. I feel like they should have given him a couple of years. Didn't Dillian White get 2 years?
Dillian White got 2 years
for protein, for dodgy protein,
for Jack 3D. Jack 3D, which is a pre-workout.
They had a thing called DMA.
And back then, it was all around the gym.
I never take pre-workouts. No, there's so many road ones that I don't take any pre-workout. I don't do protein. Pre-workouts are lethal. There's so many out there that people are getting done for.
It was DMA. It's because they put amphetamines in it.
Regardless what it is, he got 2 years for a pre-workout, and he's got this
6 months for clenbuterol.
Clenbuterol, yeah.
Which is like a fat burner, isn't it? Is that what it was?
Is it a fat burner?
Yeah, it is. It's a fat stripper. I think it's some sort of anabolic agent. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I'm very green when it comes to what they all do for you.
That's what he got caught taking. That's only what he's been caught. That's what the masking agent didn't cover, right?
Yep.
Because they probably got the shelf life wrong on it or something when they did the testing, or they tested a day earlier than what they predicted. That's all it is. You can listen. Who can put on 18 pounds overnight?
I can do that in 5 hours.
He ain't been to one of my barbecues, Rich.
Adrian, have you ever seen me between weighing and fight time?
No, yeah, I know, but I mean, we're talking 6 kilos, like more than that.
Rich, how much did you do?
Kilos.
Adrian, I'll weigh in at 72 kilos. I'll come back and I'll be way over that.
So
easy.
Yeah, I can imagine you go back up to like 74, but
74.
This massive
74.
75. No,
75.
On that
how
day.
much did you come in at?
I've been back at 79.
79.
That's on the day.
And then you think, imagine
I've weighed in at 73 and come back to 79.
And that's 6 kilos overnight, right?
No, it's not overnight. It's on the day.
That's on the same day.
It's on the day. I wake up and I feel.
Go home, Pizza Hut.
I feel fine. I haven't eaten a lot for the day before. I'll eat all week. I'll eat all week. Just time it right. You drink loads of water. You know, the last couple of days you just eat a little bit less. You know what I mean? The day I'll come in, I'll be 73 on the scales. Have a bit of breakfast, 73 on the scales. After that, I'll have a drink. Food come up, I'll be 79.
Imagine you were taking fucking dodgy on top
meat.
of it. Yeah, dodgy meat. Yeah.
Because I mean,
we got the.
You want to give a fat stripper to a cow, don't you? Because that's that.
What's that photo they've got of him with his thing? And
that's what you want to do to cows, isn't it? Give them fat stripper because that's how people like their meat.
Yeah.
Yeah, lean
meat.
That's why they call it beefing up animals, isn't it?
I think that's some. Oh, but you know what? Let me just say, Broner Vargas ended in a draw. Could have gone either way, a round or two. Broner did his usual thing after the fight and had a fucking funny interview, just calling everyone cunts basically as he does. He doesn't really care anymore. I don't think he's just in it for the money, any. But let's move on to the question portion of the pod. We've had quite a few come in. We may have covered some, may not have, so we'll run through them. Paul Altai, is there any point of a ref carrying on counting when the fighter is clearly not getting up? Charlo knockout last night. Obviously, we watched that back a minute ago. Jamal Charlo knocked him out. What was his name? Can't remember. The Mexican fella. And he weren't getting up.
No, not after a couple of seconds. It was safe to see that he weren't getting back up. Should have just waved it off.
I know, I get that. I totally get that question as well. Because sometimes you look at a fighter and you can look straight away, he is out. But the ref can't exactly go, hold on, lean over, have a quick look for 2 or 3 seconds, and then decide, hey, might get up, I'll count. So he has to count and make a decision while he's counting.
Yeah, while he's counting.
He has to do that.
It was Hugo Centeno was the guy last night. When we watched it back in real time, didn't we? And you went, pretty sure he was knocked out about 4 times there.
He looked like he knocked out, woke up, knocked out, woke up.
Yeah, he
knocked
shot.
Out, woke up.
When they showed it in slow mo, it's one of them weird ones. Sometimes slow mo don't do the knockout justice. And he caught a big one behind the ear, and then on the way down, and you got to look at his eyes, man. Like he was gone.
He was gone.
He was gone.
He was not getting up.
The ref knelt Willis or Lillis or fuck it, I can't remember his name. He knelt down. He's counting 6, 7, and you're looking at him going, ref, he ain't even moved an inch, mate. He ain't getting up, like. But I guess it's for the rules, isn't it?
Yeah, I think when he was down there, when he got to like 4, 5, it was safe to see that he's not going to beat this count, so just wave it off then and get the doctors in quicker.
I mean, he has to look at him, but he can't look at him and then count because he might take him 4 seconds to decide whether he knocks out. What if he gets to
look at him while you're counting?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
While he was counting, it would have only taken a couple of seconds to register. This guy's not getting up.
I think when you didn't see one muscle move, like not one, I think it was.
I've seen referees, like British referees, have done it more. I'll be honest. As soon as they've hit the geezer, seen the guy hit the canvas. Sometimes they just look at him for maybe 1 or 2 seconds and they can just tell this guy's not getting up, and they wave it off. Like for example, George Groves against Frotch the second time, that got waved off pretty much as soon as he got dropped.
Yeah, you knew it was gone.
But he still after he got waved up, he found a way to spring himself back up. Yeah. But when he sprung up,
he was fucked.
He was, one punch probably.
That's the thing. You might get up before 10, but are you really up?
Yeah,
you really up?
Yeah,
I mean, it can work both ways. I've seen on Small Hall, I saw Jose Lopez, a big cruiser, get dropped. I'm trying to think, was it Ozzy Jervier? It might have been Jervier. So he got dropped, right? And he stood up instantly on 2 seconds, and he shouldn't have because he was still. And one of his team, I remember who it was, but I'm not going to say his name. He went, go down again. So he got up on about 2 or 3, took a knee, and the ref waved it off. No, he's fucked. He's gone down again.
Done that, yeah.
So the ref looked at it and gone, he's that hurt. He's sort of been knocked down twice essentially. The ref called it off, and Lopez then stood up and went mad. And went, no, I'm all right. It was really, really bad advice from someone shouting on the outside, and it's getting that happy medium, isn't it? Like I don't believe enough people take a knee.
I've seen opponents get hit, boom, they kind of legs go, but they don't choose to go down, but they sort of flop down.
Yeah.
They lay on the floor for a second. They go, take a deep breath with their arms spread on the floor. stay there, laying on the floor, watching the ref count, and then they get up. Yeah. But they're in a starfish position while they're thinking about it.
Which doesn't look good either.
Doesn't look good, but to be fair, if you want to take your rest, land where you land.
You've got 8 seconds to do it.
You can rest wherever you want. Yeah. You can get in a recovery position if you want.
Yeah.
You've got 8 seconds to do what you want.
Can you imagine a geezer? Ref, give me 8 seconds, I'm just getting in the recovery quickly. Yeah, it's that split-second judgment call. He has less than 10 seconds to make the call where, if I let this man carry on, is he going to get seriously hurt? Or he might have trained 12 weeks, this is the biggest fight of his life, and I'm now stopping it, and he was fine. There's a clip going around. I don't know if any of you know the Editing King. He's got a massive YouTube channel. Yeah, he's a top bloke. And he's posted a video recently, and I really should have the details, and I don't. A fight is stopped where one fighter has the other corner up against the other fighter in the corner. He must throw 20 or 30 punches, nothing lands, and the ref jumps in and goes, "Whoa, he's had enough, stop." And you see how mental that the opponent goes. He's literally dodged everything, and
didn't get hit.
Didn't get hit. Nothing connected. Zero, zilch. No fucking top of the head. No chin. No nose. No nothing. And the ref's go, no, that's enough, because it was 30 unanswered punches. When I say unanswered, I mean he threw 30. He didn't throw them back. But so, what do they say? Protect yourself at all times. Was he protecting himself?
He weren't getting it.
He weren't getting it. But mate, honestly, go and watch that. The Editing King posted it the other day, and you think the ref obviously thought he was doing the right thing and saving the poor.
These refs don't really get much time. Remember, we watch it, we can replay, we can watch it back, we can make a decision.
I can't always
I can back Chaz for this as well. They don't get much opportunity to go, well, I'm not really sure about that actually. They don't. They have to make a decision like that, and they can't think about it for too long.
They can't go and watch a video.
They can't even think about it for too long because they've then got to focus on what's happening at the time. Yeah. What if someone hits someone with an elbow and he's thinking, should I deduct a point? And in that time, someone's been dropped or something's happened. They have to split second.
It's a split second decision.
So these refs do get given a hard time. They do make mistakes. They're only human, but they can only do what they think they see at the time.
Yeah.
But obviously, something like that.
That fight I just found it's a guy called Aaron Herrera, and he got given a TKO victory over a guy called Raul Hinojosa. Yeah, so we just watched it. I just showed you to that knockout or TKO I was talking about. What's the first thing you said?
Payout.
Payout.
Straight up payout. That was bullshit if I've ever seen it. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was bullshit. That was some bullshit.
That was like, what, 5 seconds of dodging punches? And
I don't think it was even long. Even if he was getting hit, I don't even think it was long enough.
Nah.
Even if his hands were down by his sides.
Even if he was taking them on the gloves, that wasn't long enough.
That was a payout, man. Someone's given that referee a nice little handout.
What, like the time that Frank Warren rung the bell 2 minutes into a round on the Danny Williams fight?
What about when Enzo Maccarinelli was getting his head kicked off and there was about 30 seconds of the round left and the bell went?
It's the same thing with Danny Williams,
is that where
Frank Warren's gone from the bell?
Is that surely he got suspended or he got something happened?
Rang the bell halfway through a round. Do you remember Mitch Pearson? I think he's making his debut on the MTK show.
I've heard of him.
Mitch Pearson, you know Mitch.
Yeah, I know Mitch.
He boxed in, I think it was championship fight. It was supposed to be 4 2-minute rounds in the amateurs once. He did 1 4-minute round because the timekeeper forgot to put the timer on. So his first round was a 4-minute round. I can tell you right now that Mitch definitely wouldn't have forgot about that.
Oh, that's class.
I don't think you would forget about a 4-minute round, no. Especially at amateur.
He's still having nightmares about it.
Championship as well.
Yeah. We covered the question, Rob Cass and Peds.
Mitch.
Lewis Smith, obviously you'll know him better than most, Rich, at your gym, 2-0, and he decided to call time on his career at a very young age. His head's not where it needs to be, mate. I can't say anything better than that. And in this hurt business, I don't think you want to be into it. You don't want to be in it if your head isn't 100% committed to it. So fair play to Lewis Smith, mate. Hope he gets whatever else he wants out of life, and
good luck.
In time, if he wants to make a return, his head's in a better space. Who knows? But no, fair play to Lou. So his question: what are your thoughts on having the fighters in the stable fighting on big shows but on separate cards and splitting training responsibilities between them? So what he's talking about is last night, Tommy Coyle and Carl Frampton, who are both trained by head trainer Jamie Moore, were on different shows, obviously Warren and Hearn. So Tommy Coyle didn't have Jamie Moore with him. Yeah. He said in his post-fight interview it was because Frampton's fight was booked first. Yeah. That was the reason. I mean, you guys trust your gym. You trust your trainer. Not all gyms will have an assistant coach that you care and trust as much as your head. You're in a different situation, Rich. You said you'd do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't care. Like, I wouldn't care.
That's a bit harsh on poor Al.
No,
Wilkie's listening to this going, fuck him.
No, it's not. It doesn't mean like that. What I mean is, there was 2 reasons why I would accept the head coach going somewhere else. A bigger fight for someone else.
When you say bigger, what, a title?
Let's say a title fight. Let's say ID was boxing for a Southern area and I just had a 6-rounder. Or SI was boxing for a challenge belt and ID was boxing for a Southern area. I would say, Al, you're better off going with him because it's a bigger title.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say, and again, equally, it depends on the 2 opponents and on who's booked first. If there was already a fight booked on that date, I would say, right, this is a date available, but obviously I've got 2 shows to go to, so I'd say, alright, well, go to that one was first. But equally, if my fight turned out to be a bigger fight, if I got offered a Southern area 2 weeks before and I took the fight, something was already booked in, I imagine that Al would probably say, well, we're better off being at the Southern area and you have an assistant for your tick over 6-rounder if someone's... Yeah. So it would come down to...
Fight specific for you.
Fight specific, yeah. I wouldn't care if
I mean, last night, Tommy Coyle's was Commonwealth title.
Yeah.
Carl Frampton was a WBO interim title. But it was booked first. It's hard to know.
That would come down to book first because the titles are not...
Yeah.
You can't really say that title's bigger or that fight's bigger. You'd go for...
Fight.
You chose to fight on a date that was already booked up.
It's headlining as well. Yeah, Frampton headline.
Yeah, that was a bigger fight.
What are your thoughts on that? Would you do it? What's your situation with Jim? I know you're close to your trainer.
It's just me and Joe.
Just you.
So it's me and Joe. So no, I wouldn't.
If he said, "Look, I've got a wedding on that day, Aid," you're gonna have to just go on your own, mate.
Yeah, no.
You wouldn't do it.
No, but Joe's coached me as an amateur as well, so I'm used to having Joe in my corner from the fights. It'd be different, right? If we had another assistant coach in there that was working with us every week anyway, like they have at Jamie Moore's, like Nigel's there all the time. So, you know, for Tommy Coyle, it's not like it's an unfamiliar face. But for me, it's just me and Joe. Like, I'm lucky now. We've got Luke Davidson who trains Khan Horse. He's now sort of on the team with us, and I mean we're part of a gym. Me, Billy Long, and him. We've got our little setup going on with Box to Burn and that. So it's good that I've got him there. If for any reason Joe was to get couldn't train me or anything, so maybe down the line, if that situation came about, maybe I could have Luke or someone like that doing my corner. But at the minute, because it is me and Joe really are like a 2-man team. What
if you'd offered like a title fight, a big title fight, big money, couple of weeks notice, and Joe was on holiday? Now,
Joe would cancel his holiday, and but I'm not.
You probably would though.
Joe, you're cancelling.
I wouldn't tell it. I wouldn't tell Joe. Joe would do that for me.
Yeah, no. Listen, I saw the bond. I remember when you won your challenge title. The pride in him, and you two have got this little bond. Yeah, whereas Wilkie hates Richie, so you can tell.
But no, like I know Joe would do that for me. But you know, likewise, I if it meant that Joe couldn't do something for some reason,
then I'd
be willing to work around it. We've got that kind of relationship, you know. I'm very grateful that I have him as a trainer, so I'd be gutted not to have him in my corner. To be honest, I'd feel a little bit lost. Like, I've done pads with other people before, and I just don't like it.
No.
Like, I don't mind. There's some people I like doing pads with, but really, I only like working with Joe because it's hard. It's weird to say, but I don't feel like I've done a training session if it's not coached by my coach. Does that make sense? I don't feel like I've trained, even if I've done a really hard workout and I've learnt a load of new stuff. I don't feel like I've worked unless it's Joe working me.
Yeah, you grow together. You learn things together.
So I don't feel like I don't know. It's a really weird thing. It's
a unique situation you're in as well. But no, it's good. And again, it's fight specific and fighter specific. Tommy Coyle obviously had no doubts that he was going to win with the assistant coach there anyway, and it proved to be right.
Yeah.
Paul Altight, do you think the Khan straight away telling Kel he is a 147 fighter is putting a stumbling block in the way? Yeah, I do. That's what I said. It's bizarre how he just, there's all this talk about it for years, and then as soon as he wins, he's like, no, I'm a 147 fighter, knowing well that Kell Brook is not going to make 147 ever again. I wouldn't be surprised if the fight just doesn't happen.
I think he's playing the game.
You think he's playing the game?
He's playing the game.
If the fight gets made tomorrow, right? Is it a stadium fight?
For the right price, they'd go at whatever weight. They fight heavyweight for the right price.
They do catch weight. But is it a stadium fight, like I'm sure Eddie would try and push for?
I think that fight will sell.
Yeah, it will sell. That'll sell. That will sell.
I think that'll sell. I think that's a fight that's been going
I
on
don't
for
get
ages. It's a great...
I don't get it. This is one of them weird fights. I don't understand the buzz about it right now. I can't get my head around it.
They don't like each other, and they're two world-class fighters, aren't they?
But it's the stages of the career. Like, right, let's look at Crawler Burns when that happened last year, right? Both multiple-time world champ. Or sorry, Ricky Burns multiple weight world champ, Crawler world champ. But all right, the fight wasn't spoken about for years, so it kind of just got a build-up and it was done. But if that fight was spoken about for years first, would we have cared more? At that stage of their career, it didn't mean anything to any of them.
See, I think with Khan and Brook, it's I think Khan wants a hefty payout. I think he wants a big payday.
He wants 3 fights in and out. That's what I think.
Yeah, and I think he wants a big payday as well. I think he could have got better paydays in the States. I think he wants a payday like in the States, but over here. The thing is, I think that's why the fight's not going ahead, because I don't think it sells enough worldwide to get the money that Khan.
It's not a Vegas fight, is it?
No.
It
would probably be a small stadium here, like a Bolton or a Sheffield again. Like,
you don't think it's a big fight?
Like that, yeah.
Me personally, I don't like the fight. I don't know why. Because you look at
You
Khan's,
are the first person I'd say that.
I look at Khan's hand speed and I go, tremendous. I look at Kel, yeah, good at this and that. But I'm bored of Kel because he got battered twice and he's still...
Who do you think wins?
I'd go with Khan.
I'd go with Khan.
I'd go with Khan. And you look at... It annoys me the way Brooks chiming up now to Errol Spence saying it would be different than the first fight when Spence came to his backyard, put his face in pieces and took his world title, and then he said, "Oh, but if you were at this weight now, fight me again." I don't like it. I don't know. I'm not a Kell Brook fan really. I don't know. I'm not a big Kell Brook fan. Maybe that's the reason. And I'm not a big Amir Khan fan. So maybe
I was never a big Amir Khan fan, but I respect him a lot.
As a boxer, I can't not respect him.
I respect Amir Khan.
I remember watching Amir Khan in the Olympics and everything. I followed his career for a long time. I
remember his last amateur fight. They kicked everyone out of the show before his fight and made everyone pay to come back in.
You know,
yeah, to watch Amir Khan.
Okay, no.
On an amateur show.
I remember watching Khan on TV and that, and looking forward to watching the Amir Khan fights. You know, as a kid, you know, he's been around for a while. Do you know what I mean? And that I think he's always been a very entertaining fight. You don't get a boring fight with Amir Khan.
Yeah.
I know his fight yesterday was because it was over in a minute, less than a minute, about 40 seconds. But you do get excitement with Khan because you never know if he gets hit. Could he go? Is he going to blast them out? He throws loads of punches. He's happy to get involved. He's an exciting fighter for the fans, and he talks a lot of crap, and he's backed up a lot of what he said and stuff. So
he's a star, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a star. He is, and rightfully so.
He's a star.
Isn't he a lovely? He's a star.
No, but you think, compare him to like Kell Brook. Kell Brook's nowhere near as marketable.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
he's let his boxing do the talking, but he can't. He's not worldwide sensation. Kell Brook. It's not like you don't go into another country and say, "Oh yeah, Kell Brook is going to get recognised." Amir Khan can go into the States and be recognised. Can go over France, be recognised. Can go into Russia and be recognised as wherever in the world.
Yeah.
He can be recognised as a world champion. Kell Brook is not got that kind of popularity. So
yeah, it'll be interesting to see if that fight's made.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
Accent helps.
It's got to be. I mean, it's going to be, if the fight ever gets made, the splits will be interesting because their egos will both demand. I'd imagine
Khan
both
deserves more money. He's done more to deserve more money.
Yeah, I think that's his. That's
and
his.
I think he's the
mindset. I think he knows that.
Yeah,
I think he's the selling point.
He's the seller.
Well.
Yeah. He's the man in that.
Where do we go? Next one. The mayor of Brixton was Le Greco, one of the worst comeback opponents you've ever seen. I thought Damori was bad, to be honest with you. I mean, Le Greco weren't great, but at least his resume was. He's been in there with some people. Mark Damori was dog shit, wasn't he?
I don't know what's wrong with him. He did alright. Walked out, looked nice.
Yeah, he
smiled, made loads of money.
Mark Damori, David Hayes' comeback opponent after 3.5 years, learned to box on YouTube. True story. So hard to beat him as a worst comeback opponent, I'd say. Do you think of any come to the top of your mind? Nah. We'll go with Damori.
I can't believe I feel like you're saying something negative about David Hay.
It's not negative. It's just the truth of it, isn't it?
I feel like it is.
It's never
But
ever
David
negative.
Hay in the pod again.
You brought him up.
I didn't bring him up.
I brought up Damori.
Yeah, which is the same thing. You basically indirectly led us into it.
Oh, that's next week. I can't wait for next week. We're going to just be talking all about David Hay in the build-up to the rematch. What are your thoughts on Adrian Broner? He showed so much talent and promise and has really let his career go despite winning titles at a few different weights. Has he underachieved in a way? If so, where's he gone wrong? That's from Lewis Smith as well. 4-weight world champion. I believe he's now having his money fights. I say that he made a lot of money on the Maidana fights.
And let me get this straight. You're saying a 4-weight world champion has underachieved.
No, do you know what? I get what he's saying.
I get it, but
because
I
at
one
point,
I get it, but it's not fair.
I know it's not fair. At one point, he was the new Mayweather.
He was the star. He was the man.
The boxing world decided Broner was the new Mayweather.
I get that, but it's not fair to say he's underachieved.
No, yeah, it's a bit harsh.
It's harsh.
A bit harsh, Lou, for fuck's sake, mate.
He just got put.
Don't let your 2 wins get to you, Lou, for fuck's sake.
He got put under the same spotlight as Mayweather, and to achieve what Mayweather's achieved is near on impossible.
It won't be replicated.
It just won't. Mayweather, listen, I can go on about Mayweather for days. Like I'm a massive fan, right?
I am.
And a lot of people give him hate for this, that, and the other. But if you look at where he started, right? If you look at where he started and where he's at, the way his career went, and the business decisions he made.
51 and 0 ain't bad, is it?
51.
Yeah, he beat his wife, didn't they?
Yeah, but you say it's.
Oh, that was so perfectly timed.
Yeah, no, you.
Congratulations, I like that one. Well done.
Yeah, like,
look at Adrian, he's gutted.
I knew someone was going to pull me up on it as well. I thought there's no way to get away with it.
He's a wrong one for doing that, but he done his he's a wrong one for doing that. That was that. But
do you know how big Mayweather is? Let me tell you that.
There's a lot of
when he beat his missus, Vegas let him delay going to prison so that he could fight because he brought so much money to Vegas. Yeah. That's how big Mayweather is.
But he done his time in jail, and he's not beaten any women as far as we know since. No, so he might have come out reformed, but
undefeated against the women.
Yeah,
I know. But then like.
Do you know what this sounds like? This is when I defend R. Kelly. This is exactly what it sounds like.
No.
But R. Kelly makes some banging tunes.
I just think we've got a sensational athlete here who's done so many good things in the sport, and he does other things outside, does charitable stuff outside that he don't talk about. He's been branded as this bad guy because of this. I think there's a lot of racism in there because Conor McGregor, everyone's like, Conor McGregor's our hero, drink driving, assault, and yada yada yada. You know what I mean?
They're all only human at the end of the day.
I think the biggest thing you can realise is where Floyd Mayweather came from. He used to share a bed with his, I'm not going to say drug dealing or she was on drugs. Basically his home life was horrific.
Yeah.
He's come from that, but made himself one of the biggest names in the world of sport.
He is.
It's hard to argue with what he's achieved.
Did he come from that?
Yeah. His dad got shot holding him in his arms as a kid.
Yeah, and his mum was on. I can't believe she was selling drugs or was on drugs.
She was on drugs. His dad was selling drugs to his mum. His auntie
that was
died
it.
of AIDS.
That was it, mate.
He lived with his auntie.
His home life was horrific as a kid.
7 people in one room, sleeping in one room. Like he had it hard, man. And
people's argument will be you don't have to become a prick because of where you come from.
But when you're brought up saying that every day, it kind of
some of it will rub off, won't it?
Yeah. So there are a lot of mitigating factors for why he did things he did and why he acted in certain ways, but his decisions have been incredibly successful so far. He has smashed it. As far as a businessman,
do you want to see him fight in an octagon?
No, I couldn't get it. No, I think he's done it now.
You're right in thinking Conor McGregor would fucking ruin him.
Nah. I'll tell you why.
What?
I'll tell you why. Let me tell you why.
Wait. He's got a smoke.
No, I'll tell you why. The MMA world will then see what we see when McGregor boxed Mayweather and said Mayweather couldn't knock him out. Mayweather couldn't knock out a novice. All right, no, he couldn't. You're right. It was so hard. Mayweather lost some rounds. They're about to see exactly what we see in the boxing ring. They're going to see Conor McGregor carry Mayweather, play with him, do this, and then tap him out in about round 3. He's not going to knock him out, he's going to tap him out because it's a controlled environment.
But they're not even talking about MMA rules though, are they?
No, I know.
They're talking about no ground game. Or you standing guillotine.
I think he's still going to be a McGregor win. I'll be surprised if it's a Mayweather win, but he's going to carry him.
They make up rules for one fight, it's fucking more of a circus than the boxing match, isn't it?
Exactly.
If it happens, listen.
I said the boxing match wouldn't happen. It did. If they have any fight again, it has to be full MMA rules. and then that would be hilarious to
Mayweather's
see.
in
But
his
I don't
40s.
believe Mayweather's ego doesn't allow him to take a beating, which is what would happen if he
Yeah, I
went
suppose
MMA.
for business wise, yeah.
But also you've got
So
to
would
think,
Mayweather actually lose? We haven't said that. Is he going to agree to lose?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's not a real fight, is it?
No, it's not.
Have it right.
He's done his career. He's in his 40s, man.
He's had a wrestling match as well, hasn't he?
Mate, he's also
he's
about a big show. He also earns over $1 million a month in investments.
Yeah,
so he's all right.
He wants to be because he wants to
don't
be a
need the money.
billionaire. He wants a net worth of $1 billion. That's what he wants. That is his only motivation for it, is to be another billionaire out there.
Greed, if you ask me. 2 questions are exactly the same. One from undefeated Ramez Mahmood and the mayor of Brixton. So it's the same kind of question. Ramez wrote, seen complaints regarding a main event being later than 11 PM last night and ending around midnight. If you paid for a ticket, would this annoy you staying past midnight during the main event? It's proper late, isn't it? Like, I was sitting at home and Khan's fight was done by 10:15, and then Tete started around 10:30 and ended up having a 12-round bore fest. Basically, Frampton come out at just 11 o'clock. Fight was done, and he was giving his post-fight interview at midnight. And then the television was still apologising for the language. Just while I remember that, have you ever heard anything more ridiculous than constantly apologising for the language in a boxing corner? So you had them apologising on Frampton's behalf that he said the word fuck, and then Broner's coach, Cunningham, swore in the corner about 3 times. Oh, you know, would you like to apologise if you're offended? But for fuck's sake, man, it's just
professional.
So what happens to the watershed? It's after 9 PM. It should be able to say whatever you want without you apologising on his behalf. Where he's trying to get his man in a fucking sporting context to not get his head punched. It just fucking baffles me.
Listen, if they don't want to swear in there, they should record what goes on the corner.
Yeah, maybe don't get the mic so close to the corner, and then apologise for it. It's just fucking weird. But anyway, main event ending at midnight.
I can't imagine getting for a round without Al swearing at me. I can hear him from the outside of the ring.
Fucking do this, with snag. Main event ending at midnight. Where do we stand on that?
To be honest, it finishes when it finishes. If I go to a boxing show, I'm there to see the show. That's my night out. Do you know what I mean? So you're going there. That's your evening. So
the point I'll make is, you can't expect people to get there and ask them to get there for the undercard at 5 PM
and then leave at midnight.
Well, you can, but then don't complain when there's fights between drunken louts that have been drinking for 8 hours at your show.
Yeah.
And do you want the crowd doing what you see happen at most events nowadays, is where they stop watching the boxing, which is the paid athletes, and they turn their head and they watch the drunk cunts in the crowd. It just happens, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It always happens. I saw it happen last night. Mick Conlon and Jamie Conlon ringside for Frampton. Fight kicks off and they're turning their head looking at the fight instead of watching Frampton. It's bizarre, but it's human nature. We all do it.
I think that is also it's a safety instinct kicking in, because you're watching a fight that's controlled and whatever, and have you, and it's in the ring, and
it's mayhem outside.
But when it's mayhem, you got to make sure that mayhem's not coming over your way.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's part wise, as part instinctive as to why you're looking over that way. But I don't know. I think they need to have better security systems in place to stop that.
Like Golovkin said, everyone likes the big drama show.
Big drama show. So that was Ramez who put it like that, and the mayor of Brixton's worded the same question. When will he realise going past midnight is a fucking pain in the balls? So
when they're a show,
I mean, if you're in a copper box, you try getting home.
The last train.
Yeah, you try wouldn't you? You try getting home.
Wasn't there a thing last year where a load of people missed the main event because they'd gone home for last train?
There probably was.
They should let people come in and out with their tickets. Like, when you go into these shows, you can't leave and then come back later. Because, for example, say you got someone on the undercard that fights fast, and you want to pop out and get some food or something afterwards and come back.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Go
home for an hour or two if you live local.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's true. Like, maybe something like that might be a bit better. I think big promotion.
Who knows? But if you're out, say for example, last night in Liverpool, say Khan fans have come from Bolton or London even, and it's now midnight and you've got to get a train home. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how it would work. It's not easy. You'd have to make sure you're staying local to the arena, which is more costs.
What I liked about that is they kept to the bill. They didn't chuck fights off, because
they put floaters on and stuff like that on shows. And
See, I was a floater on a haymaker bill, and that was the worst experience as a boxer. And thank God for Dave the Whip,
I love Dave Evans.
Yeah, Dave Evans. Thank God for him, because he managed to sort it out that I actually got a time where I was fighting for sure, and that I could get ready. You know, but being a fighter, I didn't have time to change my hand wraps. I couldn't close. I had to put Vaseline in the gloves just to get my hands in them. Yeah. You know, I was fighting the whole fight with an open hand. If I boxed that guy again with a closed fist, I probably would have stopped him in a round or two.
It's a weird situation, live shows, because obviously I've seen guys that have had to fight after the main event.
Yeah.
Dino Richardson and Dan Keenan did it on Groves because all the fights went long.
But do you know what I think these big promoters should do? They should sign a lot more fighters that do their tickets and everything on these big shows, but let them box before the TV, before everything, and that's where their like following can come and watch them, like, you know, in an empty arena or whatever, because they do that in the States.
It must be difficult though for TV. So imagine.
So the TV isn't all. The TV starts later, but earlier, before the TV's there and all the stars are there, go through like that, because then boxers might actually start getting paid by promoters and being guaranteed fight purses again, even if it's 100 or 200 quid to fight on this card. You know, I feel like that would be a responsibility for promoters to do, because everything now, as a professional boxer, if anyone's listening that is thinking of turning pro, you just got to remember that your friends are paying your wages, are paying your salary. If you ain't got a lot of friends, you ain't earning money. It's as simple as that. It's your friends that are paying your salary. You know, unless you're with Matchroom or Warren, your friends are paying your salary, and that's the sad thing about it. Try to get that out there.
No, that's a good point.
I'm alright. I can sell the tickets, but it's like if I wasn't lucky for the generosity by my friends, I just think big promoters could do something like that.
Where Davis did a post about all this ticket sales. And
I haven't watched that. Is it good?
I didn't watch the whole thing.
I feel like big promoters could do something a bit more like that, as in, you know, put people on under. I mean, they just don't want to fork out the extra money. But the thing is, a lot of people would sell a lot more tickets boxing on the undercard of a world title fight, or even before the card starts. They'd sell a couple hundred tickets because, you know, they could just whack them up on StubHub. That worst case scenario. Do you know what I mean? People are going to go and pay to see a main event. It's hard selling tickets on small shows.
Yeah, but how many fights can you put on a world title fight? Let's say Joshua fight. Who's not going to want to go on that? So now you're going to have 300 boxers around England who want to go on that. You can't put 300 fighters on.
No, but you're selective. That comes down to...
That's what they do. They're selective and they put their own fighters on.
Yeah. But they keep to like...
They keep their own.
Yeah, they have like 10. But they're the ones they want to build up on TV. I think they missed the opportunity of seeing someone grow before the TV.
Yeah, but they do put their own fighters on before. Own fighters
on
before TV.
But then some of their fighters get found out later on by someone who grafted their way out of the small hall. They might have been able to get someone out of the small hall and see the potential earlier and build up a better pay-per-view sensation.
Didn't Harlow Davis come out of small hall?
He did. He had 2 or 3 fights on Goodwin.
So they do it.
Yeah, they do, yeah, but I'm saying there could be a bigger way of them doing it.
Yeah, maybe there is. Maybe there's a way to do it, but I don't think they'll ever change what ain't broken.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just,
that benefits us, but it doesn't benefit them.
Yeah, that's the truth.
That's the thing, it doesn't benefit them.
It might.
As much as you try and justify it, they're not making money. Doesn't make money. Doesn't make sense.
No, and that's exactly it. If I'm your promoter and you're saying, yeah, but I can sell 300 tickets on the Joshua Parker undercard, I go, sorry, Rich, I've already got Joshua fucking Parker. I don't need you.
Selling the whole thing.
Yeah,
so I'm just going to pack it out with my own. I'm going to pack it out with my own apprentices.
Yeah, who are building up to this day.
Right?
I get your point in an ideal world, but
that would be nice. But it's not beneficial to Matchroom.
No.
Or any promoter.
I just thought it could be a way of them seeing some talent that might not be marketable straight away. They might be able to pick out some people a bit earlier.
Yeah.
And have them as theirs. But I don't know.
We're spilling.
It's food for thought. It was an idea. I think actually saying it out loud, I can see the flaws in it.
Eddie, why am I not on your show? I sell 300 tickets.
Cheers, mate. Yeah, I think we've come at the end of this.
Ideally, it would be nice to have everyone on there, but it doesn't work that way, does it?
In the States, they guarantee the fighters money, even on small hall, even if it's a couple $100 or a few $100s.
You're guaranteed money if you sell your tickets.
Yeah, that's it. I think 1 or 2 questions may be coming in, but we're gonna look to wrap up. So first thing I want to do just quickly, briefly touch on MTK next week. You're going to be there, Richard? Yeah,
I'm coming.
You're coming. Ada, are you going to be there?
What's that?
Because Dan Aziz is fighting next week.
Dan Aziz, he's the man.
Good friend of yours, isn't he, Dan?
He's the daddy.
Just call me now.
Did you tell him you're doing the Fight Talk podcast?
Yeah, I did indeed.
Yeah, well, he's going to come on. I'm going to get him on later in the year.
Man, do it. That boy is going far.
There's a reason we're linked up with him now. We're Fight Talk and Dan Aziz. We've got a little link. Some things going to be coming out soon that we're doing together. But
he's my brother from another mother, Dan.
You look similar. So
identical.
You're like the Charlo twins. No, quality fight. I've been at his first two, and
he's a gentleman, Dan, isn't
he? Yeah. Top lad.
People don't realise how hard he punches that guy. He can box. Don't get me wrong. He's a fantastic boxer, but people don't realise how hard he punches. He sometimes throws a punch and he just it looks like he's half-assed it, but if you feel it, I mean, we were at Essex Uni together for years, and I've sparred countless amounts of rounds with him, and I've got the busted ribs to show for it.
He'll be on that card. Do we know who's headlining that yet? It was supposed to be Danny Connor against Sheer Ozgul.
No, it's Ozgul v. What's it? TBA.
Is it still against TBA?
Yeah. There is.
I mean, it ain't going to be a defensive Southern area.
I think ID Hill has a 50-50.
Does he?
Yeah, I think he's fighting an undefeated fighter. He is. ID is what, 7-5?
Nah, 7. He got beat by Parsons. He got beat by Sanjeev.
3 losses and a draw, or 2 losses and a draw.
2 losses and a draw.
And 4 wins?
2 losses and a draw. And
7-4 then.
That guy took 50-50 so early.
50-50 all the way.
He doesn't give a fuck.
Say.
Big up ID Hill.
Ticket, but no one's going to take him as a mug because he'll fight anyone.
ID Hill, right? Let me just tell. I don't speak to him from one sort of couple of weeks or a month to the next, and he texts me and goes, "Can you send me your logo, please? Getting my kit done up." Like, he doesn't have to do that.
Has he got your logo tattooed on him?
He doesn't know.
ID, do you even fight talk, bro?
Yeah. I've got that might be the nicest guy in the world. ID Hill.
You pay for my sleeve, I'll let you put Fight Talk on.
Oh, fucking hell. You got a spare grand knocking about.
There you go.
See, we did it for charity aid, but it's all about you, mate.
To be fair, I mean, listen, there's 2 peoples in this world. Do you know what I mean?
Love ID Hill to bits.
Him and ID and Jack Healy both fighting on MTK next week. I've been
Jack Healy, my first ever sit-down interview with a boxer.
Nice.
Back when he was a boxer. I love you, Jack. I'm on the wind up, mate. I hope the comeback goes well. Been out for a long time.
ID gave me this bruise on my eye.
Yeah.
So after his fight, I'm going to fill him in. They're both looking sharp. They're both looking good. Anyone wants tickets, get in touch with them soon.
Yeah. A week away or 6 days away. Craic is coming with us. Me and Craic are going to be doing the pod after coming to the show on a Saturday. So it'd be good.
We might have Pagan with us next week.
No, he's not invited no more.
I told him that.
You've invited him twice and he's turned him down both times. Fuck him. Adrian's the new man.
He's booked out next week for us. I said, no,
it's too late.
Go get podcast somewhere else.
Put me aside, I'll get involved.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm joining the Fight Talk team. I still got my t-shirt. I was going to wear it here, but then I realised we weren't on camera. So
you weren't representing.
Last thing I like. Cap at home as well.
No, you ain't. You left it in the cool box.
You
left it in the cool box. That was found
all
in.
this bullshit.
See this bollocks? I should charge him a score.
I can't believe he's called out.
I got hat box at home.
It's all cool. You left it in the cool box.
It's representing. See there.
Give it to Dan. Tell Dan it's his now. Let him know.
No, they've moved now again, haven't they?
They're always moving, aren't they? Where are they now?
I think they're in the Peacocks at the minute.
Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah, what I was about to say, I'd like to finish up with just sort of the guest, and you're the guest. Richie's part of the panel these days.
Panelist.
He's a
now.
hashtag panelist. You have to get a Fight Talk tattoo or be ginger to be a part of it, and Craig's covered the ginger side. You got the tat, so. But you're the guest, so would you like to hear about your plans, what fights coming up, and ideal your next sort of 6 to 12 months?
6 to 12 months, I want to win something, a title. I want.
I thought you were going to say like a game of bingo or something. You take anything.
No, I want to win a title. I'm 7-0 now. I'm fighting Jordan Granham on the 19th of May, so in a month's time. I know he was a very good amateur, so I know I've got my work cut out for me there. I know he's gone down the way corner route, but this guy, when he wants to turn it up, will turn it up, and he can fight. So I just want to go in there, do my work, and get the win. Learn a lot in the process. After that, I'm going to speak to Joe, speak to Steve, and I don't know. I want to take on a challenge. Maybe go for a challenge belt or a British challenge belt.
You've got one, haven't you? Greedy bastard. He wants all the challenge.
Get a British challenge belt against another contender.
Against another contender.
It's a good. I like that progress. You know that. I'll be honest. I like that. I like to hear someone say, "Yeah, I want to start doing these now because
yeah, well, I'll be 8-0 hopefully. Then I'll need to take that step up. I need to go into that. Otherwise, I am gonna go 20 fights fighting people that are either sort of in it to test me, but just to learn me so I can go up.
You don't want to become a journeyman beater.
Yeah, basically.
No one wants to be a journeyman beater.
And I want to take.
He's regretting the jeans now. Look at him. He's like, fucking hell, sweating.
Who's laughing at that?
It's about 30 degrees in this conservatory. Fuck.
But no, I need to take a step up, and 8 or a 10 rounder will be where we're looking at, depending on obviously how this fight goes. This will be my second 6 rounder. I was supposed to do an 8 rounder with Jan Balog, but that stopped in 4. So yeah, it'd be good to test myself. There's a few people out there, and I've got to have a little think about my weight as well. See if I can, make welter for.
You can't call me out and then dodge me by going down a weight.
But no, I think I'm going to stick at super welter. I think that's what me and my coach have agreed to, and see what's going on. But I want to work towards Southern Area English.
What's going on with Southern Area now? Is it Billy Bird?
Southern Area, Billy Bird, Matt McCarthy. Is that rematch happening?
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's contracted in, so that they've got a contract for that as a rematch.
Do you like the winner of that in an ideal world?
Well, I think they're both ready to go on English level, and yeah, I wouldn't mind, but I wouldn't fight Matt because Matt's my mate. So
does that create problems? Because I look through.
They asked this about me and Davis.
Yeah.
And me and Davis have always said for the right money and the right title, we consider it. Outside of that, if you're not paying us good money for a good title, there are so many opponents to do it. So what we do is flip a coin.
Yeah.
Do you know, there's definition of mates.
I agree with that.
You and Davis go for weekend breaks with your girlfriends and or wives together. It's slightly different.
I've known Davis since I was about 12.
Yes,
so.
that's what I mean. Like, you lot are close friends. Hence why you call him. He's a dickhead and he always turns down the podcast.
You know what I'm saying?
But
we're gonna fill him in for that.
I mean, a lot of you boys know each other. Like, you look at even some of the London boys who speak highly of you two, but they're sort of around the same weights. And is there a case, Adrian? What I'm saying is there a case for a Southern Area putting friendship to the side? Look, Matt McCarthy is a top bloke. Taylin Jones, a good friend of yours.
Yeah.
But if you got offered to fight Tay for his Southern Area title.
Middleweight though.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Super middleweight for the next one.
Yeah, super middle for the WBC youth title he's fighting.
Yeah.
So fair play to Tay. But that's my point. When you're all you all know each other, you've come up in the scene together, is there a case for maybe you should be taking fights with friends?
Yeah, 100%. But I think when they're putting friends in the mix, you've got to make it worth their while. Because you're going to get a fight worthwhile. Like me and Matt spoke about this. If the right title and the right money was thrown our way, there's no way that we wouldn't box each other. It would not make any sense at all. And we've sparred well over 100 rounds together, so you're going to get a good fight. Because we've been sparring partners, on many occasions in that. So you'd get a good fight. But I'm not calling out Matt. He's my mate or anything. You know what I mean?
I'd turn around. I wouldn't fight Matt. Fuck Matt. I'll fight Matt.
No, but like he said it.
That was a good fight. Him and Billy Bird as well. That was a very good fight.
But that was an English title fight. That should not have been. That is above.
Ted Cheeseman was the English title fight. I think that's not an English title fight. If Ted Cheeseman's the level of English title fighter.
Two best fights I've seen at Small Hall in the last sort of 6 to 9 months were both Southern Area title fights. Mackenzie and Render. And Bird
Still
and
can't
McCarthy.
wait to see that. It's something out, is it?
It's because some of the other boys are holding on to belts when they're moved up the level, and they're still holding on to that domestic belt rather than releasing it out for others to fight for it.
What's Byfield doing now?
Byfield apparently is going to be fighting for the vacant.
There was a pull-out or a cancellation.
Liam Williams pulled. So Metcalf pulled out.
Yeah.
And then something's happening with Liam Williams as well for that.
See,
this is super well.
I think Cheeseman should be being edged towards the British. His next domestic
100%.
belt shouldn't be an English rematch. He's gone beyond that level.
Yep.
Beating Carson Jones, he's gone beyond English title level.
Yep.
Now he is ready for a British, and that boy is super talented. He is incredibly fit. He's got a very good work rate, very good engine on him, and I think he'd go far. And he's ready for that British title. That's his sort of level now. I think that English title. I mean, English titles up there. Someone like a senior Byfield should be fighting for an English.
He was supposed to, wasn't he? At one point.
Yeah, JJ Metcalf and him were contracted, or not contracted, mandated, I believe, and something happened with it.
I actually think the Billy Bird and Matt McCarthy fight was English title standard.
Wasn't it supposed to be an eliminator as well?
Yeah. It was a
so all this is stuff that was actually in motion.
Yeah,
it was in motion.
Yeah,
because I think the winner of that was going to release the belt anyway and then move on to the English.
I interviewed Matt 8 days before the fight, and the plan was to win that, vacate, and go English route. But obviously, the fight was that good, that close. I think you want the. Billy could relinquish the English because it was contracted for a rematch, but it doesn't mean he has to take it.
Well, what I think they should do with that fight is go to Warren or go to Eddie Hearn, see if they can get that English title relinquished. If that English title becomes available, they should let the Southern area go and both go up for the English, and then to have a rematch for the English, because they both deserve it.
Yeah,
they've both been boxing long enough to warrant boxing, and they're both fighting at that level. And that quality of fight put on TV is one for
Imagine
the fans.
The rematch was shit. Imagine fucking hell.
But if it's anything like the first fight, it won't be. I mean,
no, agreed.
Both of them took a huge amount of punches and gave a huge amount out. And the speed and quality of the fight was beyond Southern area. That's what I think.
No, I agree. It was a quality fight, and I'd like to see it again. We've been on for a long time now. So let's wrap up. Richie Gray, anything you want to throw out that we ain't touched at the end? Are you want to mention anything?
Say thanks to my millions of fans all around the world. Hashtag Richie Gray Official. Love you all. And my sponsors. No, nothing really to say.
Adrian Martin.
Following with what Richie said, thank you to everyone.
Well, you want to thank my fans?
Yeah,
that's nice.
Thank you all of Richie team Richie Gray Official, Team Gray.
Grey
support
Weather
has been.
Do you know we call him Richie Grey Weather now?
Grey Weather.
Yeah. If anyone wants to sponsor me for a new bike for my triathlons, you can do that.
Yeah,
I really appreciate
it. If you own
a
bicycle shop,
send them my way. We're welcoming more sponsors. Actually, saying that,
I'm a team sponsor.
Your team
I'm
sponsor.
team sponsor.
He is. He is team sponsor. I'm following suit. I just landed a fourth sponsor on the team the other day, Forest Freight.
They give him 10 chicken nuggets a week.
Am I allowed to shout out to my sponsors?
Always shout out your sponsors.
Well, I'd like to thank ACR Recruitment, Renovar Building Services, Sharps Build, and Forest Freight for all the sponsorships.
And Fight Talk.
And obviously, give a big shout out.
They give me hats and I give them away, but whatever.
No, that was a marketing scheme. Put it out there.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, Harry, you've been putting here again. So again, I'm not telling you where it is. You've got to come find it.
Who's Harry? Bassett and Hand?
Yeah,
Bassett and Hand Tattoo. If I shout him out every pod, do you reckon he'll start giving me discounts? Can he sponsor Fight Talk as well as sponsor you, do you reckon?
I don't know if I want to do that.
I don't know.
No, don't do that, Harry.
Oh, cheers.
You look after me. Anyone, if you get tattoos at Bassett and Hair, tell them I sent you. They will give you discount anyway.
I'm back there in a couple of weeks to plan out the sleeve of Harry, quality tattooist.
He does charity days.
He does the charity day. Top man.
Every single penny he earns in that day will go to charity.
And he worked till like 10 o'clock that night or something.
I don't think he got home till like 12.
Fucking hell.
And then he had to do a shift the next day of normal tattooing.
Yeah. No, fair, but good bloke, top man.
Heart of gold.
Honestly, all you sponsors that help you boys, man, it's fucking, it's hard enough for you poor bastards selling tickets and that, so any help you guys can get with sponsors is unreal. And they keep the small hall game ticking over. Because without these guys, it wouldn't happen, would it?
But, it's easy to throw your money at something else when you're a business owner. There's loads of different things, or throw it at a charity that's got thousands and thousands of people supporting it already. But by sponsoring a boxer, you're making it life changing.
Making a child's dreams come true.
Yeah, but no, you're supporting the industry. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and you're keeping it going.
No, definitely. Well, we're going to watch the end of the marathon now. We're going to get out of here. Richie can't keep his eyes off the marathon.
Can't wait.
No, this has been fucking warm in here. Richie had the right idea coming in half naked.
Got the Kent Sport Trust boys on there. I don't want to see him smash it. One of them done it in 3 hours 40 minutes last week down at Brighton. So
yeah, fair effort. I could do it in about 3.5 days, I reckon. But now this has been the Fight Talk podcast. Thank you much. Thank you very much for listening. The Crazy Scotsman is meant to be back next week.
Peace out.
Myself and Richie got the Crazy Scotsman Craig Scott back. But yeah, thanks a lot for listening.